I'm surprised that some of these videos reached 50 views, because I was telling Lance before we put them up regularly, we were only getting like 10-ish views. So
yeah. Well, thank you, Mikey. I appreciate the hard work that goes in and dedication that goes into.
I mean, it's mostly everybody just trying to see you guys, so you know, they're like, "Ooh, what's Mikey look
and
like?
Lance.
What's Abe look like?" Wow. I'll be like, "I'm just hanging out. How y'all doing?"
Are you a hillbilly from West Virginia? Jeez.
I felt like it worked out well for this.
Speaking of West Virginia, well, you know, it's funny because it's like, you know, we are in the South technically. Oh, all of us are.
Uh-huh.
We're in the
South
real
will rise
South.
again.
Mikey's kind of like middle.
No, I'm in the real South.
You're the
Y'all are just
Southwest.
in y'all are what's considered the South. I don't know how Georgia's considered the South and Texas is. The only thing I can justify is y'all are the South when it comes to like the original 13 colonies. And I honestly think that's how they classify it. Because if you're looking at America, Texas is in the fucking middle at the very bottom. How is that Southwest, people? That's South Central, if anything.
You are South Central. That's what I'm saying.
South Central.
So I'm just like, you know what? I think they're just talking about the 13 colonies. They're still stuck in those days.
In the Bible Belt, you're like I was gonna say ornament, but it's really the fucking belt buckle.
The ornament
of the Bible, the Bible belt. You guys are like the belt buckle of the Bible belt. It starts from you, the belt buckle, and goes all the way across. So
yeah, but that's like if the belt buckle's like not buckled and like dangling down. You know how like that hot, like when you go to your friend's house and your friend's hot stepdad comes out in a wife beater and like his belt buckle's unbuckled, dangling down, and you're like,
his hands in his
Jones.
pants.
Yeah, and he has like those like yellow stains under his arms, and you're just like, what am I feeling? You know?
Is this emotion or just how it should be?
Exactly.
Well, okay, but while we all may be South, we're definitely not West Virginia South. So there's that.
And how is that considered the South? That's literally almost at the top of the United States.
Well, okay, because the funny thing is that with Florida, and like I don't think a lot of people know this, like people just think that Florida is just a bunch of crazy people.
I mean,
and alligators and Disney World and Ron DeSantis. However,
there's also manatees.
Oh, manatees.
Have you seen a manatee before, Abe?
Yes, I swam with a manatee at Blue Springs one year. I got yelled at.
I've swam with the manatees.
I know, jeez. But isn't it illegal to swim with the manatee?
It is. So I didn't know because when you yes. And I didn't do it on purpose. So what I meant by what I know that it's illegal. You're not allowed to touch them or disturb. They're endangered. Lance, come on.
Yeah, Lance.
You're swimming in their poop and pee water in the springs all day long. Why can't you
go
touch
to
them?
the springs? You don't even look like you go to the springs. Okay.
Yeah, Lance. Where's your fucking tan, you fake ass
spring? I know, he's the worst Puerto Rican ever. And so
I have tattoos. That's how it goes.
Oh yes, he has to put a little parasol out, and yes, he lives in Florida but can't get a tan. Anyway,
I was get a parasol.
Parasol. So
sorry.
I know.
Parasailing?
Well, Mikey, could you before we start, you have to ask Lance how to pronounce the main girl's
oh my god, stop
of the film.
Are you talking about the actress?
Yes.
Alicia Guku? No, it's better. It's Eliza Dushku.
The Dushku.
That's how I say it.
Okay.
Probably.
So I pulled it up. What were we talking about for? I think we had a good point.
It's West Virginia.
Oh, okay. So well, let me just finish the manatee story. So I was swimming, but you have to sneak, but you can't drink at Blue Springs. So you have to sneak the booze in a water bottle. Okay. This is back in college.
The first misdemeanor.
So I didn't want the tube anymore. So I gave the tube off to my friends because I was a little tipsy and I just wanted to swim in the water. And I keep hearing this whistle because I'm on my back, but my ears are under the water. And I keep hearing this whistle and I'm like, what is going on? And I finally sit up and the ranger is screaming at me like I killed her dog. And I looked to my right, and there's a beautiful manatee swimming right beside me. I'm like, oh my God. And apparently I'm not allowed to be there. So I'm getting yelled at, and the ranger's threatening to like take me away. And I'm like, bitch, I didn't even know the fucking thing was next to me. Okay. Because I was drunk. Like, what do you want from me? Like, hello. If it
Now,
was an alligator, you would have left me in there.
I know. It's like, now, when you looked, did you know it was a manatee, or was there a moment where you were like, "What the fuck is that?"
No,
Oh yeah,
manatee.
seriously.
Yeah, they're always there. Like you can't be in the water when they do arrive because I guess they go on their little
Yeah, sometimes you gotta
path.
watch out for like snapping turtles too when you're in there because like they're all over the place.
Mm. Yeah, you're just too good for the manatees, apparently, Mr. Malta over here. So thank you. Okay.
I
Here's the
know.
thing again. It's illegal to swim with them, so technically, Miss.
I didn't know that it was next to me. I feel like I'm being attacked. Like, what is this? Okay.
That's how the
bet you
manatee felt.
Yeah. They're like the manatee's like, who's this bitch? Why is she next to me?
With this Dollar General thong right above my head.
How dare you? I only had bathing suits from Victoria's Secret. Thank you.
Okay.
And it's
Sorry.
like in this bliss moment, she's like, it's a manatee. I love this manatee.
The manatee's
Tell
like,
that.
get this ghetto ass bitch out of my water.
1, 2, 3, 4. Just trying to stay alive. Some days I wanna die, but I don't wanna say goodbye.
Yeah. This is Slashers, your new favorite podcast about your new favorite and old favorite and whatever favorite horror media. My name is Aid, and with me, as always, are my esteemed colleagues, co-hosts, and cohorts, my boo-boo Mikey.
Hi. That's not
And-
you, Lance. It's not your turn, Lance. Go ahead.
You know what? Lance just likes to be the center of attention. And I guess back from, his European excursion.
Yeah,
is
if we didn't hear
Lance.
it enough on his videos.
No.
In Malta. I'm still in Malta. Oh, this
Oh.
island or whatever.
So hard to be on vacation. Yes, I know.
Yeah.
Oh, and also no tan. Came back with no tan on a fucking Mediterranean cruise.
Mm-hmm.
You're welcome, Greece.
Mm.
I don't know what that means, but someone obviously stayed on the boat the whole time.
Oh, my mom had to actually. That's kind of sad.
Well, yeah, you pushed her down the stairs before y'all left.
Like this trip's for me and me only.
He's
Ow.
like, how can I slut around with my mom here? You know, treats her like his first pregnant girlfriend in college and just pushed her down the stairs to fix the issue real quick.
Well, talk about some West Virginia stuff going on right now.
Well, that's true. Yes. Okay. And speaking of West Virginia, so happy fall, y'all. And this is our Dismember month of November. And what that means is that all November long, we decided that we were going to cover horror films that delve with cannibals. So,
Yum, 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 yum.
Well, maybe just movies that dismember people like a Thanksgiving turkey.
oh, yes, that dismember people like a Thanksgiving turkey. Thank you,
Ooh,
Mikey.
Speaking of
You're
that,
welcome.
I can't wait for that
Lance,
Thanksgiving
that's
horror
for
movie.
later. Oh, I thought you were talking about what we were talking about earlier. Sorry.
Sorry.
Should I leave the room? Do I need to leave y'all alone so you can have your alone time? Anyways,
No. That starts later at chatterbait.com/slasherspod.
So, anyways, this month we will be covering all films about cannibals. So, if you guys have any suggestions, we were like ping-ponging back and forth. We have like a very loose list. So, if there's anything that anybody would like to suggest, aid/slasherspod@gmail.com or just DM me on Instagram or you can DM Mikey, but you have to send him a picture first.
Yeah, you do.
So, there's that.
Of that Thanksgiving turkey.
He wants to see all the basting.
What good's better than, with Thanksgiving than, eating
A good
flesh.
stuffing. Oh,
A good stuffing, yeah. Well, that too.
Cranberry in a can. I love it.
I have something to ask.
Sure.
because this is a November to Dismember, and I went to a Alamo Draft House thing called Dismember the Alamo. They have them all over Alamo Draft Houses. And I was disappointed in the lineup. So I want to ask you if you've seen these and what you would give this lineup. The first film on the roster was Chopping Mom. The second film was Ringu, the original Japanese version. The third film was All Hallows Eve. And the fourth film was Opera by Dario Argento. Can someone make sense of that?
All Hallows
That's
Eve
weird.
is fine. I think for that lineup, that would be okay. That would be fine.
And the Rugu, like I don't know,
Ringu.
Ringu, Ruga,
Okay,
Okay,
I'm
well,
good
like,
Japanese animation right now.
no, it sounds like, what is the Cajun werewolf called? The Rugu?
Oh, the Goularoo, Lugaroo.
Yeah, Lugaroo. There you go.
Hello, Lugru. How you doing?
Um,
Hello.
well, to my
Okay.
surprise, because All Hallows Eve is like the lowest budget, lowest quality of them all. That was the one that I actually had fun with, because I've only seen it once, and I forgot how if you just take that alien middle story out, it's a really fucked up movie.
Oh, it's so
Um,
fucked up. It's so fun. I love it.
like it actually made me, even though I've seen Terrifier 1 and 2 and everything, watching it again, I was like, oh man, if this is like what Damien Leone's about, then I'm totally into it.
Yeah.
Because
Well,
as
and
frustrating and stressful as life has been right now, I'm like, give me all that mean-spirited shit. Let me have it all.
Well, I'm glad that you enjoy that. And yeah, All Hallows Eve, I think, was probably the best in that lineup. And the only reason I say that is because I like Chopping Mall, like it's fun. But would I want to go see it at the movies? No.
No. It's because we've seen it
Ringu,
so many times.
yeah. And Ringu, like I fell asleep. I can't tell you how many times when we had to watch it for that 1 month that we did. And I'm like, and where did we do it on this show or did we do it for Austin's show?
We did it for this one, and I don't remember, did we do it? Lance, were you a part of
Hi.
it?
I don't think so. I
It
don't
was
think I
with
on it.
Austin, though. I think Austin was with us
It
and
was
we
with
recorded
Austin.
on it. And I just remember thinking to myself, what a fucking, why did we do that movie? I don't even know. But it's not good. Like
No.
the remake, the American remake is good. And I'm just gonna say that. That might not be an unpopular opinion. I don't give a fuck. But it fucking drags. The main girl's so annoying. Like it doesn't feel scary at all. Like there's
Yeah.
nothing scary about the movie except for the ending, but you already knew it was going to happen if you saw the whatever, doesn't matter. So
Yeah.
that, and then what
Yeah,
was the
drop it,
last one that
Lance.
you said? What was the last one?
Opera, Dario Argento's Opera.
Opera's fine.
It would have been fine if I wasn't like tired AF and annoyed at the first two options.
I wouldn't be able to sit through 4 films like that. Maybe 2.
I found myself
there was
texting
drinks.
throughout the last one. Yeah, there is drinking.
Yeah. You'd be fine.
Talking, you're just sitting in it.
I've
it's
been in a
nothing-
theater with Aid when she's a little tipsy and she just falls asleep. So
She makes that seem like there's no way she could handle watching that whole movie. Then she goes, ugh, there's gonna be alcohol there. There's no way I can watch this whole 4 movies.
I know. I would probably be asleep before the third one, to be completely honest with you. So anyway, but I'm glad you got to do it. I'm sorry that the lineup sucked. I'm sorry that you couldn't know the lineup beforehand, because I think if they had like exposed the lineup beforehand, a lot of people probably would have bought tickets. So
Yeah.
what was the whatever? I don't know. That's their business.
That is
not
weird
mine.
that they didn't tell you beforehand.
no, it's like their gimmick. It's
Oh,
like,
it's supposed to be
4 films. I forgot what it's called, but that like Afra, whatever, I don't know what it's called. American film, whatever, genre, AFGA,
Mm.
whatever. AFAGA, whatever. Anyways, so yeah, so just remember November to Dismember.
And November to Dismember. So I'm excited about this month. I actually really do love cannibal films because a lot of them, there are some that are very involved, and then there are some that are just schlocky fun, which is the film I think that we're doing today, which is 2003's Wrong Turn, starring Eliza Dushku.
The douche.
Desmond Harrington, Emmanuel Shariki, and Jeremy Sisto. Also, Lindy Booth is in it as well. And it's actually probably, I think it's the last film that Stan Winston was actually involved with himself before he died. So that's really cool.
I have a question though. We're doing
Yes.
movies about cannibals. Would Christmas Bloody Christmas count?
I hate you. And
Anyways,
yes, it does. Yes, it does.
that pivotal
My-
scene.
That's
Go ahead.
that's my favorite part. Okay.
Someone's dead and somebody's eating something.
Okay.
Mhm.
Lance
Sure is
doesn't
eating a
you don't
person.
even know what we're talking about, dude. Have you seen it
Oh,
yet?
No, this is a part of this. You guys talk about this part so often that I just know exactly what this part is. So like, it's all.
He
I don't have to.
cannibalized her vagina.
Yeah.
Well,
that's-
okay, so that's your homework assignment for later. If after you go out, when you come home, put that movie on, and then after that scene comes on, you can turn it off. So 2003 is Wrong Turn. So Wrong Turn, I don't even remember it being really advertised as much. It was, I guess I saw previews for it, but the only reason I had gone to see it was because that we had a movie theater down on 50. I think I was talking to you about it today, Lance, and
yeah.
it was like
Dollar
on
Theater.
Tuesdays. Yeah, on Tuesdays, all the movies were no, they were like 75 cents. So you go to the
right,
movies on Tuesdays, and it's like 75 cents, and you can go see whatever the hell you want to see. So actually, that's how I saw Halloween Resurrection and a lot of movies that came out in the early 2000s because I would go with my mom to go see it. And I always picked the movie, and it was always a horror movie. So I saw this with my mom and my cousin. But family fun night, right? To go see this. And I enjoyed it. I thought it was great. I thought it was really good. I thought it had a lot of heart. I really like the effects. There is some CGI that, is I don't think that the CGI takes away from the movie because I don't think that a lot of the CGI really is on the gore. But
What really kills Stan Winston?
yeah, but the CGI elements of the film are when they close up on their eyeballs. You notice that?
Uh,
Like when they went through
Yeah.
the keyhole and Manuel Shariki's in the other room watching and they close up on her eye, like that's clearly CGI. But I mean, other than that, I don't really see too much of it. And like a 2003, like a fresh take on something that kind of we hadn't seen in a while, except when was the Hills Have Eyes remake? When did that come out? 2006?
I think so.
yeah.
I think
Okay.
so because actually one of the questions I was going to ask is, do you think that they were inspired by any parts of this movie? Because this could be a prequel to The Hills Have Eyes, to be honest. Like it's very, or even a sequel. I don't know which one would come first.
Well, it's funny you say that because actually director Rob Schmidt said on the commentary of this film, because remember when you used to get DVDs, you got the commentary, that he considers this film to be his own personal tribute to classics like Texas Chainsaw Massacre and The Hills Have Eyes. So there's obviously a lot of elements, especially with the gas station attendant, sort of leading them into the trap. That's quintessentially Hills Have Eyes, right? And then
Yeah.
the whole podunk crazy family type vibe is also very Texas Chainsaw. So, and the fact that there's a little bit of a comedic element, like this one, I think is the most serious. I know that it's spawned so many sequels, and I've never really seen them, but I know the other ones are
There's
very
6 of
serious.
these. I'm always thrown off by that when you kind of sit there and you're like, really 6?
I've seen them.
Oh, so
Oh, you really?
so
Mhm.
okay. So, Mikey, what do you think of the sequels then?
The sequels are very different than the original in that it's not that they don't take them seriously, but because of the production value, they come off a little more like indie or like a sci-fi kind of
Campy.
movie. Yeah, and like the second one has what's his name from that band? Something Collins, no Rollins. Phil Collins.
Henry
Henry
Rollins.
Rollins.
Yeah, Henry
Nice.
Rollins.
Black
And
Flag.
the second one, some people actually think the second one is better than the original, but it depends. Like the second one's much more like campy, indie.
Yeah.
So if you didn't really like the serious tone of this one, then people usually like the second one. So the second one is actually pretty decent. The third one, I don't remember. I wasn't crazy about it. The fourth one is actually my favorite because it takes place during winter. And it's just visually very nice. And then it's real gory and stuff. The fifth one, I don't remember if it's the fifth one or the sixth one because there's two that I just don't remember because they were just forgettable. But the one that takes place on Halloween during a Halloween festival, I was so excited for that one. The biggest disappointment because they didn't even use it at all. Like it's
Ugh.
Halloween and they have like a pumpkin in the background and that's it. And like there's like you set up a Halloween festival like and you're not even using that as scenery. Because I think most of it takes place like in a jail. I don't know. It was a long time ago. I saw it once and I was like, I don't have to watch that again. But the first, second, and the fourth one I would say are worth it. But yeah, the first one is gonna be my favorite. I was either a freshman or a sophomore when this came out, so this was one of those movies where I had to buy a ticket to something else and sneak into this one. And
Classic.
this was probably, I mean, this is gonna look so tame compared to the movies that are out now, but this is probably one of the first times I saw something this violent and gory in the theater by myself.
Yeah.
Or like in general, because I don't think my parents would have taken me to see anything like that. I mean, I saw Evil Dead, but that was like at a distance behind my cousin's back. But this is the first, like whenever they have the razor, like a string of razors, and they're like sawing Lindy Booth's face in half and stuff. I was also a huge fan of Buffy, so when Eliza Dushku was announced being part of it, I was super into it. I was like, let's go. Faith was one of my favorite characters of
Same.
Buffy.
Totally. Only reason I went to go
but-
see it initially.
Yeah, but what kind of works against this movie is I feel like Eliza Dushku kind of suffers from the same typecasting that Michelle Rodriguez does, where they're always going to be the tough girl. And like they try not to do that. Yeah, and like they try not to do it because like Michelle Rodriguez, she's beautiful, but she does kind of have a little bit of masculinity to her. I don't think Eliza Dushku has a lot of masculine like visually. But there's something about her, I don't know if it's like a commanding presence or whatever. And I feel like they just wanted her to be Faith. Because as soon as right from the beginning, they're giving her like quippy one-liners. And it's like, girl, just stop being a bitch. Like, and that's the only thing I don't like about this movie is it's very hard to see these people as friends. And it's like.
That's true. I agree with you there because like she seems like the outlier. Actually, she seems like the outlier from all five of them, like the group of friends. So we have really quickly, before we get into that, the recapitation, if you guys have not seen this movie yet, or if you don't remember, Chris and a group of five friends are left stranded deep in the middle of the woods after their cars collide. As they venture deeper into the woods, they face an uncertain and blood-curdling fate. So that's a spoiler-free, quick synopsis, right? So with the five friends, you have Eliza Dushku, who plays Jessie, and actually her character's name is pays homage to Stephen King's character Jessie in Gerald's Game. So that's where they named her the same name. So I thought that was
That's the main girl from Gerald's Game?
Yeah. I never saw Gerald's Game because I know what happens, and I'm just not interested in that. So because I feel like if that happened to me, I would probably just die. So that's okay.
It's so good, but you have to close your eyes for that part. Like I got goosebumps when you just mentioned that part.
I know the part you're talking about. I'm so good. I'm so good. I'm good. Whatever. So
Lance,
anyways, I know Lance is giving everyone the brooding blue eyes over here. So here we are with so we have Eliza Dushku who plays Jessie, and then she's on a trip. So there's two separate storylines going on, but they actually do, I think, a good job of quickly getting everybody together because Desmon Harrington's character, he plays Chris, he's clearly in a hurry to get to where he needs to go. He's just impatient. He's stuck in a traffic jam. And I kind of feel like after watching it today that they were talking about like a chemical spill somewhere up the road. So I'm wondering if like that has something to do with the fact that the people in the woods are all deformed because maybe there's a lot of this like shit going on environmentally that's like, causing these backwoods people. I don't know. Anyways.
Yeah, it's called inbreeding. What is so funny?
It's like that or they're just literally from West Virginia. That's just how
oh my goodness. All of our West Virginia listeners, I'm very sorry.
Don't be from the mountains.
I know. Lance came back from Europe, so now he thinks he's like cultured and above the masses. Yeah,
he's like, I went to an old brothel.
Hey, I found the brothel in fucking Pompeii.
I know, we had a discussion. I was like, do you think they used olive oil as lube? And like, it wasn't a joke. It wasn't an Italian joke because they used olive oil for like soap and shampoo and everything back then. And I was like, and then like my thought process was, well, maybe they didn't because like for heterosexuals, you don't really need lube. And then I was like, but wait, Rome was like the gayest place. So there's definitely some gay shit going
Yeah.
down
Oh
there.
yeah,
So
they were all
something.
fucking each other. Everybody
Yeah.
needed something. And not all straight people.
Are wet. Oh, but Lance, I told you to ask the people that ran that museum. Did you ask them?
About the
That's-
about the
They
olive
did
oil.
not.
I did
Yeah,
not.
was olive oil. What did they use for lube? My goodness.
I mean, I'm assuming you're probably right.
The
I mean,
blood
they
of
use
their
it for
enemies.
medicine. I mean, yes. I mean, what was it? I mean, like Romo Greco wrestling when they always oiled each other up. So why would it not be the same for the same kind of wrestling scenarios?
Sure, that's what Lance called two men getting on, just wrestling.
Romo Greco wrestling.
Now I'm thinking about all those times you talked about Romo Grecoing people. So
Mm, I'm learning so much. Dave. Okay, yes.
you mentioned that it does a good job starting off because it starts from the point of view from Desmond, whatever, and
Yeah.
he runs into the friends, but that kind of works in its detriment because Eliza Dushku is the main character, not
Not him.
Desmond.
Yeah.
And so
Mhm.
because they do that, we don't have any character development with the friends, which is also probably why we don't really see them as friends, because it's just a hippie couple, a slutty couple, and then a bitch complaining about who knows what over there.
Yeah. And that's
Which is-
what that was my thing, because none of them seemed like they would be friends. And like, Jeremy Sisto, Emmanuel Shrieky, they play Carly and Scott, right? So Carly and Scott, like they seem like the more bougier couple. They, they're about to get married. They're very elevated. The other two are like smoking and steal, and the girl's going through all the guy's shit in his car, and she's throwing the CDs everywhere. Which, by the way, I thought was hilarious because Mikey and his background has my car, which is a 2002 Jeep Liberty that I
one,
still
like this one.
have. Yeah, the green one. I mean, mine's white. So I got so excited when I was like, oh my God, it's my car. But back then it would have been brand new. And I still have CDs in the car. So like her throwing the CDs like hurt my heart a little bit. So why were they all friends? And later on in the film, it is revealed why they were all there, which I thought was cute. But I didn't think anybody was dressed for whatever occasion they were leaving for, right?
Yeah.
Like, why is Jeremy Sisto wearing a collared shirt and slacks? Why does and Emmanuel Shrieky's outfit, by the
Because
way,
it's like 2005
adorable.
and still popping his collar.
2003. So
Whatever.
while Mikey and I were still freshmen in high school, Lance was graduating,
College, getting
I
his
didn't go to
doctorate.
college.
getting his
Um,
doctorate. I don't know. Yeah, how old were you in 2003? My God. So actually, I was looking at it today. By the way, Emmanuel Shrieky is the oldest person in this group. She's actually like 6 years older than everybody else.
It's that
So
melanin. Makes her
I
look
know she
younger.
looks amazing, and because she was in the recently in that Hallmark Christmas movie
Oh,
with
Knight's
Oh,
Christmas.
A Night's Christmas or A Night Before
Yeah.
Christmas, which I love, by the way. I watch it all the time. And she's 47. She's gonna be 48. Like, oh my
She
goodness.
looks
for
good,
her.
but you want to
She's
know an
amazing.
embarrassing fact? I don't know who told me this. I don't know if anyone even did tell me this, but for the longest time watching this movie, I thought she was not recently. This is back in 2003. I thought it was Nelly Furtado.
That's amazing. Wow.
Maybe I wanted it to be Nelly Furtado, but
Whatever
First,
happened to her, by the way?
I think I
Let's talk
still
about
have that
for a
CD
second.
somewhere. I love that song that she does with what's his name. That's like that was the jam. That was back in the day. Oh my God,
Promiscuous.
promiscuous girl.
She seemed like everywhere, and then she just kind of disappeared, or maybe she had kids or got married. Or
No,
something.
she had a breakdown, but she's been releasing stuff slowly but surely. I'm a big Nelly Furtado fan, and Ami, whatever her name is a very pretty woman, but Nelly Furtado is top tier. She's
So
gorgeous.
yeah, Nelly Furtado's amazing. But she also has different colored eyes than Emmanuel Shrieky. So Emmanuel Shrieky, if you guys don't know, I love her in Waiting. Waiting is one of my favorite movies of that time era, which is so problematic now because you could never
Oh
make
yeah.
Waiting again, and you can't show that movie anymore. Like, how many Me Too moments do we have in that movie is insane. But that's how it was. Like, that's how things were because I was like the youngest. I was the age of the hostess chick in Waiting, and like all the older guys would hit on me and stuff like that. Like, I get it. But I had no problem with that. So but she was also in she was also in what's his name? Johnny Drama. Why can I ever Entourage, right? So she's in
Oh,
Entourage.
I didn't watch that.
Yeah, but I always remember her from the Lips of an Angel music video by Hinder. Do you remember that? And she was like the main girl in the music video.
I have no idea
I
what that
love
is.
that music video. Oh my God. When we're done, everybody, I'm gonna put the link. Everybody needs to stop what they're doing and watch that
Lucky
music
all
video.
of
It's my
you.
favorite music video. Okay. But this is quintessentially early 2000s, right? Because that was the time. Anyway, I know, Lance, you're
If you
much
do a
older than us.
video.
So you don't feel how Mikey and I feel the nostalgia at that time because we were younger.
I don't think Mikey feels that way.
About this movie or about Nelly Furtado?
No, I know you love Nelly Furtado.
Anyway, so moving along. So the film, I think, does a really good job at kind of getting right into the action. I love the beginning that it's, the two people climbing up the rock. And for some reason, and I hadn't seen this movie in years, but for some reason, I just remember the movie being a lot gorier than it was when I watched it today. So am I crazy, or is there a cut of this film that is not as brutal as it was back in the day?
Um, maybe, but I know what you might be thinking about in the beginning because I remember when I was watching in the theater, so the girl's getting dragged up the side of the cliff, and I remember being like, oh, that sucks because like we've all accidentally scraped ourselves on rocks and your skin like peels off like a cheese grater. And I
Yeah.
thought that's what was gonna happen, but it didn't. So I was like, oh, I guess missed opportunity. And I had that same thought again watching it because I don't think I've seen this in like at least 10 years.
Yeah, me either.
Yeah, it's
So
been a while.
like, yeah, and so I was like, I had that thought again. I go, oh, I remember being disappointed that they didn't do this also. It seemed like the same, but I had to watch it on YouTube because I have the DVD, and that would be like probably the theatrical version. But I had to watch it on YouTube because I didn't want to rent it again. I already paid for it. It's not stealing.
Does that make you feel better about it?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I have it somewhere too. And that's the thing. It's like I need to go back and revisit the old copy that I have because especially when Lindy Booth gets it, I think it's probably the most visceral in terms of what they do to everybody because
Yeah.
one, she's a woman, she's small. Two, what is
Same.
it? The garrote. Like they take the barbed wire and they wrap it through and they wrap it around her mouth and just like fucking pull,
Like a
right?
fish hooker,
Yeah.
basically.
They were
And
like,
yeah, and I remember it being much more intense than I'm watching it today, and it was like,
it seems like it was cut a little short.
yeah. So is it my memory that I thought it was that bad back then, or did someone fuck with this movie? I don't know.
It could
So
have been a edited version.
anyway, same thing. So when they drag her body in and they're dismembering her, I feel like they showed them cutting off her body, her leg and stuff. And then
Yeah.
I don't remember like them cutting away, but maybe it was my imagination. I don't know. So because people say the same thing with Texas Chainsaw Massacre. They always say that they see him putting her on the hook, but they, hooking her, but
Yeah,
in
like you see
reality
the
they cut
penetration,
away.
but you don't.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
It's like a Mandela effect.
Yeah, like everyone
Mhm.
wants it to be more violent because you're assuming it's going to be more violent. Unfortunately, in movies, they're probably going, "Yeah, that seems like a lot of extra work. We're not going to try to do that."
Yeah. We don't have the budget for that, so we'll let you
Yeah.
imagine.
We spent it all having the one girl get chopped in the face with an axe and have her the rest of her body
Oh,
fall off.
Nelly
Like, it's
Furtado.
Yes,
yeah.
when Nelly Furtado bit the dust. So, but the thing is I feel like we get a lot of character development within that scene because watching them sort of interact with each other as they're walking through the woods, we get more of the relationship between Jeremy Sisto and Nelly Furtado. It's just easier to say her name. And, kind of see that Eliza Dushku is just being kind of bitchy, but she's always like that, even in Bring It On. And and that's sad. I hate that she's typecast that way because I think that they could have made her a little bit more vulnerable and she still could have had the same effect because she's not really the final girl. She's the final girl, but she's not because she has to be rescued, right? So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a joint thing, kind of, right? Because I mean, at the end, they're kind of both saving each other, kind of in a
yeah.
weird way. Like,
Yeah.
But at some point she reveals why they all went on that trip because her boyfriend broke up with her and the answering machine. And I'm
well,
thinking to
explains why she's so
myself,
bitchy.
yeah, and I go, oh my God, they still had answering machines, bless their heart. So I was
Can
like,
you
what?
imagine that?
Like
Click,
nobody even checks their voicemail anymore. Like how the fuck?
you have one message.
It says something that the women in this film both get chopped in the mouth, where if
That's
you
what I was gonna
just
say.
stop talking, you'd be fine.
Yeah, well, clearly. And what's interesting about this film is that the writer who actually wrote Spawn, so I'm sad that Jason isn't here because I know how much he loves Spawn. What the hell's his name? Alan B. McElroy. So he actually not only did he write this and he wrote Spawn and he's done other things, but he actually wrote the 2021 reboot of Wrong Turn.
Oh, ew, gross.
So
Yeah, which that threw me
like
off. And when I said that, I was like, "Ooh, did anybody ask for a reboot of fucking Wrong Turn?"
well, did you watch it though?
But no.
It's
It's not
trash.
it's not the same movie. It is a completely I don't even know, like after I watched it, I sat there and I was like, what the and I honestly thought that they had just used the name Wrong Turn to get asses, people to actually want to see
Yeah.
it, right? Obviously, because there's already a fan base built in, the metadata and all of that what a great idea. However, um, I still can't even say anything about that movie. Like I'm still sitting here like,
Who was in it? Did
It's
they try to get like some actual actors? I slightly
no.
remember them talking about it.
well, the main character from We Are What We Are, which is actually a cannibal film, and I love that movie, and nobody suggested it, but whatever.
I thought you were gonna suggest it.
The father in that film, he's actually in the new Wrong Turn, but he's the only one whom I recognize. There wasn't really any big
There's
name.
an actor in there named Damian Maffei who has a decent sized following. Mostly it's gay men that think he's hot, but also he plays the killer in he's an actor. He's not, I don't know what they're called, where they usually just play like
Bit
figures
roles?
like Michael Myers and stuff.
Oh.
But he was the
Oh, he's a character
Sackhead.
actor.
Yeah, he was, I think Sackhead is his name. I don't know.
Oh,
The
from The
baghead
Strangers.
from part 2, not the first one.
Okay, The Strangers
And
Part
he
2.
was
Yeah.
also the devil in Haunt. And so when you watch, well, you haven't seen it, but you've seen it. He plays like one of the guys in the cloaks who is like the cuter one that talks a little weird. And so that's the only reason why I know about it. And the shame is that I actually like the ending, but I'm still like, why is this Wrong Turn? This is a
Yeah.
wrong turn for this movie. And so, but like the ending was pretty legit. It just has nothing to do with Wrong Turn.
No, that's a completely separate premise. So if
Like,
you're
it's just
going
a
in,
remaking, like all together.
the whole thing is different. It's just, it's a completely different story.
The only thing that's the same is there's friends in the woods.
Yeah.
Are they even in West Virginia?
I don't know.
I don't
Literally,
even
it could
think
also
they're.
be
I
a
think they're
remake
in
of Blair Witch
California.
Project.
Yeah.
Any woods count. It works. Don't worry about
Yeah.
it. Just don't get lost in woods.
The ending is great. The ending is really good, actually. Like that
Yeah.
was its saving grace. But then, I'm just, I'm still just speechless. So I just think like for two separate films, like if they had just named that movie something else,
Yeah.
It would
Or
be
like
so much.
been like, or been like, this isn't about what attached to the original. We just named it Wrong Turn. Like, let me just be upfront. But like, they didn't even do that because
No.
it's like the new Black Christmas. It has nothing to do with the other Black Christmas except for the
Oh.
fucking cat's name. It's Claudette, and the original was Claude. So,
Oh my
ooh,
God. And
way
that
to pay
and we all
homage.
know. And we've already talked about that Black Christmas here on Slashers Podcast and how much we all fucking hate that movie. So
I just know that writer is probably going like this, going, "What if?"
Yeah.
well, that's my thing. Like the movie itself isn't a bad film. It's just not a wrong turn film. So and coming back to this one, and this is why I never wanted to watch the sequels because I didn't know what to expect. Anyways, so for this film, there was a about almost $13 million budget. It grossed 28.7 million. So it didn't do horribly, but it didn't do great either.
I like budget. You can use budget from here on out.
A budget? Did I say budget?
Yeah,
A budget?
that's what it sounds like you're about to say.
A
Budget. I
budget.
like it.
Okay, whatever. So the budget, I didn't do too badly, I don't think. And honestly, like for the time that it came out that year, the only other competition in that month was 28 Days Later. So
Oh, it's a pretty good movie though.
obviously it's night
It's a
and day.
different movie. Yeah,
completely
Yeah,
different
totally
film.
different.
But the rest of the year, we had a really good lineup. So it was a really good year for horror. And I honestly think that having Eliza Dushku, like all of these people that, and they're all behind me in the screen. So for those of you watching the video, all of these people were very popular at the time. Like Jeremy Sisto was super popular. Obviously coming off the heels of Clueless, but he's in a shit ton of things back then. I can't remember.
Yeah.
Obviously, Manatee Streaky, we already went over that. Desmond Harrington was in Ghost Ship, and which is a great movie. And then
It's a great
he
movie.
loved Ghost Ship, and obviously early 2000s and all the bullshit schlock, right? And it's funny because like the music that you listen to, like it's always so like it's all the same at that
Radio
time.
rock
Yeah.
or
And
metal.
Ghost Ship featured Mudvayne, and that's why I started listening to Mudvayne, and I actually met Chad Gray.
Of course you did.
Of course I did. I know. So anyway, don't you judge me. How dare you?
Hey,
These are
I
my
actually like Mudvayne.
this
It's
was
just
my
funny.
childhood. I'm sorry I didn't grow up with like clear what is it?
I'm gonna let you sit there and struggle with that one.
I'm gonna
what are you trying to
struggle
say?
with it. I was just gonna say I didn't grow up listening to CCR.
I
or
never
all those
struggle
old
with it,
people.
Lance. Don't
Okay.
worry.
How you doing?
Have you
Okay.
heard the term butt rock?
Yeah, a lot of butt rock.
What would butt rock entail? New metal, which is what I think you're going with this
No.
one.
Someone said something about butt rock, and I was like, "What is that?" And he was like, "You know how you used to listen to those old radio stations that were like, we don't play anything but rock." So, and it's
Nice.
always just like Metallica or like Creed.
Yeah.
So that's what someone clumped in together with butt rock, and I thought it was really funny and clever.
No, I think that's great
Nice.
actually, but that's true because even like the only rock station that we have in Central Florida is JRR, and they suck. Like literally, it's just Metallica, Led Zeppelin, and
They just want to go to Earth Day birthday and rock out with all the fucking top
yeah,
rockers.
and it's all like Trump supporters and stuff. Like, it's like,
gross.
oh my god, what's going on?
I would
So
like to publicly
I-
apologize to the 90s and early 2000s radio when we had like Kitty and like Linkin Park, and I was like, what is this shit? I want the real stuff. I want that back. Please bring back that radio station.
I know exactly.
I was saying that it's weird when you're at a certain time frame in life where like because there's so much out there of the same music, but you have your certain favorite bands, but other bands that even sound like your favorite bands, you're like,
Yeah.
look at these posers trying to be like the band I really love. But now I admire them more. Like when Sum 41 for me like was out, I was like, these fucking guys, what are they doing? Trying to be punked? They're not really
know,
punk.
and I
Now I'm like,
them.
oh my god, I want them so bad.
Bring them back.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Yes.
Well, no, that's true. That's true. I mean, because that same goes to like after so many years, especially with new metal, like everybody likes to make fun of it, right? As Limp Bizkit, the kings of new metal, and like, but I will still play break
They're
stuff
back,
on my
though.
running playlist. Exactly. Like I will go watch them live now. Like I have no problem saying, like I'm not embarrassed anymore to say
Yeah.
that I will go watch Limp Bizkit. I don't care. Like fuck everybody. I'm old now. Who cares? So, but the rest of the year
West
we had.
Virginia.
West Virginia.
West Virginia.
West Virginia, which I did look up. It is a little to the left. It is west of Virginia.
Yes.
Within its own state.
It's on top of it, kind of to the left. And it is, but it's still, I guess it is still considered East Coast. But I don't think, and looking at the United States map, I do not feel like literally Virginia is right beneath, well, West Virginia, actually, and Maryland is not the South.
No.
So we start the South at West Virginia. Is that what we're saying?
What's the last state in the south of the 13 colonies? Let's see if my theory is correct.
The last state, okay, so the 13 colonies were Maine,
Oh, no, I'm
right?
wrong.
No. The 13 colonies were New York,
It goes all the way down to Georgia.
Massachusetts, Pennsylvania, Delaware, Rhode Island, Connecticut, New Jersey, Virginia, West Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, and Florida.
Well,
Yeah.
Florida's not a 13th colony, but if you cut the 13 colonies in half, Maryland cuts it in half. And so south of Maryland is what's considered the South. And then, I don't know, y'all. We still do daylight savings time and we're not farmers. So who knows what we're doing these days.
I don't know what's happening anymore, clearly. So, anyways, and then we were having a debate earlier that was this even recording that Florida's actually not the South, and Texas is a belt buckle that hangs off of a stepdaddy's belt. I don't understand.
Mhm, my favorite.
Okay, so back to the film. So with this one, I think that for 2003, the rest of the competition that year, we had Gothica, we had the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake, which
Ooh,
or the
that's good.
reboot. One, honestly, of all the reboots that there ever
Which
was,
one?
my favorite.
It's like,
Honestly, I like it better than the original, and I'm gonna get a bunch of cum on my chest for it. So, like,
A lot
I
of
will
people
stand by
prefer it
that.
to the original because the original, I think, the original is dirty and disgusting and it's brutal. It is a, I'm not going to say a slow burn, but it takes its time getting to where it needs to be.
It doesn't feel
re-
like a movie. It feels like you're watching those like defensive driving videos of what not to do.
It's like a
Like a
documentary.
a
I mean,
really long one.
it's kind of like that, like the, I mean, because it has it. I mean, obviously, it's like 88 millimeter, kind of like that vibe where it's like that old choppy one, but that's what they had probably. So they probably like,
Hey,
wanna use that
millimeter
cameras.
Adam. We'd have to
Yeah.
ask Doug about that because I'm sure he would know. The thing is that it's very visceral and it's very harsh. And I think the ending for the original is just so good to me. And I still scream because Sally's just running around the fucking truck. I'm like, bitch, jump in the fucking truck. Like, what the fuck is your problem? Because we were on family vacation and I was about to lose it with all these kids screaming. So, of course, I go sequester myself into the room and watch the Texas Chainsaw Massacre on a family vacation to make myself feel better. Okay. So the rest of the year we have Cabin Fever, which I love that one.
Yeah.
House of the Oh, by the way, I had an entire discussion with Writer Strong at the 90s convention about Eli Roth, and I got him to sign a picture for me from Cabin Fever. He's just the best. So if you guys ever get a chance to meet Writer Strong, I highly recommend.
Did he say how big Eli's dick is?
Oh no. He actually told me that he said that Eli Roth had no idea who he was. Or Eli Roth tried to tell him they had no idea who he was and he never watched an episode of Boy Meets World. He's like, I think that's wrong. I think he wanted me in the film because he knew that people would come to watch it just because of me. Because like like nobody would go see Cabin Fever, but they're like, oh, Sean Hunter from Boy Meets World is in it. Let's go watch it. Oh my God.
I mean, Roth is always trying to like cross over. Like he's, and I mean, like in the horror genre, it seems like he's really good. You know what I mean? Everybody knows him and loves how he is. But like it's like the Thanksgiving movie that's coming up right soon on the 17th. It's like Scream and like V for Vendetta type vibe, you know what I mean, in a movie, which I'm gonna love it because it's been a hot second since you had a really good one. But you know, it's like, but at the same time, you're like kind of like you so badly want one of your things to hit off, kind of like Scream or or a Jason or a Freddy or whatever.
Well, he had that with
Hostel was
Hostel.
pretty big, yeah.
And Hostel Part 2, yeah. And my thing is that I know Doug and your hire, I hate Eli Roth for their own reasons or whatever. For me, I don't care how people behave in the real life. Like Your job is just to entertain me. Like, I don't expect you to be a nice person in real life. Like, I don't think that that's, I don't, I don't think that that's your obligation to like sit and placate me. Like, if
All
you're
I can
very
think about
nice,
is the
great.
Jew bear now from Glorious Bastards. 'Cause that's
Yeah, the Jew bear.
yeah, I was like, damn. Is he
I
really a
just
dick in
hope
real life?
That's what Doug and Yohira say. Yeah, he is. I don't know. I've never met him. I don't care.
I don't know. Sometimes I think if I ever get famous, I'm probably gonna be a dick also.
I think you
But
would be. That's okay. I'm pretty sure
yeah.
I'd be a cunt. Like you know, when
Well,
I'm
why
fed
would
up
you
with somebody, I
change?
have to walk away. Why would I change? I'm already a bitch. Exactly. Thank you.
I
Exactly.
just
All right.
I love Eli Roth, well, the way that he looks, but I'm hoping
Oh, he is pretty hot. Yeah.
Thanksgiving still kind of feels like a 70s horror film because that's how we all like the trailer. And then
Yeah.
like the original trailer, and this new one, it feels kind of glossy and like updated.
That's
and
what I'm saying. Like more and more it's starting to get a little bit more like, oh
Yeah.
man.
Well,
And you
I
got
guess
famous
we'll
people in
find
it,
out.
Yeah.
you know.
Well, I mean, I'm still gonna watch it, but it's fine.
Well, we'll see. Okay, so we have Itchy the Killer, which I know is a Doug movie. Gacy, House of a Thousand Corpses came out that year.
Whoop, whoop.
Willard, Beyond Reanimator, Ringu. Sorry, Mikey. I hate to bring that up again. Final Destination 2, Freddy versus Jason, Darkness Falls, One Missed Call, High Tension, Ju-on, which you do like, Cold Creek Manor, Open Water, and Leprechaun 2.
Yeah, Leprechaun 2.
I feel like
So
Freddy versus Jason is a lot older than that. Maybe
I feel like it was too. I don't know why. You know what? Google has been
That's what I thought
disappointing
too.
me, but I remember I went to the movies with, oh, bless his heart, this little goth boy loved me. His name is Tristan. He was really tall and skinny, and he
Hey,
paid for my
Tristan.
ticket. Hi, Tristan, friend of the show. And I wonder where he is now. I haven't seen him since high school. Anyways, but that was like
Uh-oh.
a freshman.
Stalker the past.
So
DM us, Tristan.
and everybody would like come and tell me like Tristan likes you. And I'm like, why? Because I was like the bitchy little Hollister girl, and I was also really short and chubby in ninth grade. So and he was really tall and skinny. I'm like, we're gonna look like a number 10. I don't think this is gonna work. Anyways, so the film
I went down such
runtime.
a deep dark path right there. I'm just gonna say that right now. I was like, what the hell just happened?
Day. I told all of you this. All right. So runtime was 84 minutes. I think the runtime is great. I don't think this movie needs to be any longer than it is. Like,
Oh no, it's fine.
you're in and out. It's over. It's fun. Yay. Again, produced by Stan Winston, and they did all of the effects. And Three Finger, the guy who plays the Three Finger, whatever character, like I think the prosthetics of the mongoloids are actually very good. All things
Mongoloids.
considered, that's what they're called, right? I don't know what they are.
Are they actually
Uh,
called mongoloids? Because I'm pretty sure you want that word to be a thing.
No, they
I
are.
don't
I was
know.
reading something about it. But anyways, doesn't matter. So I thought a fun fact: Eliza Dushku actually does most of her own stunts in the film.
Douche.
So good for her.
Yeah.
But I did notice Miss Dushku, and I don't know because I think it might have been the fact that we rolled. And listen, I had all of these outfits. I had her outfit. I had her outfit. I had everybody's hairstyle. I had the very thick pink and white manicure as Emmanuel Shrieky did.
This is
Eliza
going down memory
Dushku,
lane for you right now.
it was. Eliza Dushku has no butt. Like, did we not notice that? Did we like
I don't-
notice her lack of ass in this film? Like, where did it
I
go?
don't know. I usually give white people a pass.
I guess.
Is she white though?
Dushku is white? What is that? I guess
I
it's
think
Russian. What
she's
is that?
Either Russian or
Romanian
German.
or something like that.
Well, I don't know. You just like give her something. Like give her a break. Like stop like zoning in on her ass if you know she doesn't have
You're the
one.
one that brought it up.
I'm just saying. Anyways, because
Oh,
I
actually,
always think of those.
What's Albanian? From
Oh, she's
Albany.
Albanian from Albania, which is
Or New
in
York.
that area.
From New York.
Is Albania? Where's that? Is that in Europe?
Yeah, that's Eastern Europe.
Okay, she's Danish and Albanian. Sounds.
Mm.
Well, there you go. Anyway,
asses.
so I guess not. But I was actually talking about this earlier. So several of the cast and crew were covered in poison ivy throughout the film because they actually set up a lot of the places where they would sit around on what they thought were weeds and were actually poison ivy.
Mikey, who's responsible for that
The-
usually on a movie set? Like, would they be fired for that? Pretty much that
No.
you got your whole cast stuck in poison ivy.
No.
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 Yeah.
I mean, it would be uncomfortable, but I don't think that's a foreseeable issue. Like you can't because usually like you get a location scout because whenever you're like, oh, you can use this property, you can't be
Yeah.
like, that's like saying they rent to you a park and you get attacked by a bear. Are you gonna sue the location scout?
I was like, I mean,
It's
I
called
feel like
a force of
someone should be
God.
responsible. It's like
Someone,
who the
this is
fuck
America.
opened this?
Someone will be sued.
Yeah, exactly.
Did she know how to shoot a bow and arrow in real life? That's what I want to know.
Oh no, I did not see any of that. But this is the only film in the series that apparently doesn't contain sex or nudity. So
I
guess
mean,
the
Lady
other
Booth
ones-
almost gives a blowjob.
yes.
Yeah.
Well, she did, but they cut away, right? So we know she
Uh,
did.
I heard the gulp.
Oh,
She's
well,
like,
there you go.
hello.
That's why she didn't share the power bar. So
Oh, she got a power bar for sure.
You got all the protein.
I just say, I mean, I like the pacing of the film because once they kill her, I thought the best scene in the film is when they're all hiding in the house and they're dragging her in and they drop her body and they're all looking at her, right? So they see her and it's just so, first of all, it's heartbreaking. So imagine if it was you and your friends and then you see your best friend, you can't do anything, you can't scream, you can't make any noise, you just have to sit there. And then the blood is slowly flowing under the bed. And God forbid Desmond Harrington get covered in it because I thought he was a med student. Who cares? Why is this blood upsetting him so much? And then Emmanuel Shriek is freaking out in the little garage cell room. And a lot of the things in that room really and as fucked up as it is, kind of tell you they have no holds barred as to who they eat because they had what is that thing where you put over the baby crib? I don't have children.
Oh,
They have
the
what is that
bassinet?
called? The
No,
thing
not
that
bassinet.
spins around. What is the hell is that
plays
called?
music.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know the name of it.
They have that hanging up. They have a music box of maybe a little older child, but
Well,
so
when you
they're
see the
eating
cars out
cake
there, you
and
see there's like a doll out there, so they definitely
yeah,
fucking
they're
ate a
just
child at one
eating
point.
everybody, right?
It's called
So
cabrito.
Papinos.
what is
No,
it when you eat
cabrito.
veal? Like veal? Okay.
Well,
Yeah.
veal is
And
baby cow and cabrito is baby goat, but baby goat before it eats grass, so it's still drinking its mom's milk because it makes the meat
Damn.
tender. Sorry, Mexicans go hard.
Yeah, see that.
I'm sorry, I cannot do that.
Uh,
So, yeah, so I just think that there's a lot of cool elements to the film. One of the most beautiful scenes, I think, when they do kill Emmanuel Shrieky, she was being a pain in the ass anyway, she had to go. But when they do kill her and the axe goes through her mouth, as we discussed, so I think that is
Were both wasted
obviously a
scenes, CGI
metaphor.
scenes, both CGI scenes, both her with her eye? Because wasn't one like through the keyhole, and then the other one's literally right after the axe? Is that the two CGI they spent all that money on?
Yeah, there's another close up to Eliza Dushku's eyes. So I don't know.
Was it
I don't
her
know.
eyes?
I don't know why. Well, not at that moment. They do that, I
Oh.
think, when she's laying in the bed. But I'm like, I don't know why are we having this close up with the eyeballs? Who fucking cares? But at the time, like I said, but this is 2003. So we were talking about this in our last episode. Like, is this something that we would have noticed back then that would have bothered us the way it bothers
No.
us now? I don't know. I didn't notice it back then. But when he chops her head and then the body falls, I just love how the body falls down
Yeah.
the trees. Isn't that
That is
like
probably the
It's
best
cool
scene.
how it happens in the foreground.
Yeah.
yeah. So I mean, there's a lot of good gore to this, and it did not do well. Like people were talking so much shit. There was this really bad review I found. And I'm reading it today, and I'm like, this person is just so angry. Like, I don't understand why you're so angry about this.
That sounds about me. How I feel about watching it now.
Yeah, no, I got a lot of meme comments from somebody earlier, and I'm like, listen. No, she said this could have been a half decent cross between a Romero zombie movie and the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but in the end, the gore is so ridiculously overdone, which I don't agree with.
What's with gore?
And the script's so lame that undermines all sense of suspense.
Okay, she probably saw this pretty recently.
Who did not get laid? Like, seriously? Like, what is that? Anyway.
So I think this movie came out in a perfect time for this kind of movie because this was before The Hills Have Eyes, so we kind of didn't have the craze yet. Actually, I want to say Wrong Turn may have started the whole like inbred cannibal craze minimally because we had a lot of indie versions like Detour and like a bunch of small indie productions of movies that involved cannibal inbred
Yeah.
people. Because it's a really simple movie and nothing outside of the typical horror trope stuff happens. So if it would have came out today, I don't even think it would be in theaters. It would probably go straight to streaming and
yeah.
would kind of be ignored. This movie doesn't age well, not just because of like when it took place, but also just the kind of movie it is. I feel like it's just too simple in what it does.
Well, the scene that killed me the most was the scene where like the dudes are all asleep. You know they already murdered somebody. Like, why would you not just get up and murder them while they're sleeping? Like the fact they're trying to sneak out, I was like, just kill them. Just murder them. Like, it's like, why are you leaving them?
Well,
So
we have to bring suspense into this, right? The tension building here is them trying to get out. Because again, they're not murderers and they're not people that are trying to do this. Like in their minds, they're probably thinking, let's get out, let's get the police, let's, try and escape. I don't think that they're thinking on a level that they should. And honestly, having seen the ending of the film, if they had tried and done that, they probably wouldn't have survived anyway. So
yeah, because it's like, do you make this bigger and possibly don't make it by trying to kill? Like if it was one, fine, but like it's a whole family. And so do you sneak out and hope you can just drive away with one of these cars that's out there? I don't know. But I do like how, in the central scene, whenever they're all in the house and they're watching them dismember their friend, there's 4 of them in the house, 4 victims in the house that are alive and not hurt. And that doesn't happen usually it's like 1, maybe 2 people like hiding. But there's a lot of people in this house hiding that are like not supposed
that's
to
what
be
I was
there.
saying. I was like, that's what I was saying. It'd be one thing if you were by yourself, like you're saying, and they were sleeping. Yeah, you don't want to take the chance. But there's 4 of them. It's like, let's just stab them. There's a whole bunch of weapons everywhere.
I don't know how the doctor guy or Nelly Furtado would do in that situation. If it was Eliza Dushku and Jeremy Sisto, fine. But
I know. And that's the thing, and that's another thing too, because they all like, especially Amanda Shariki, like she reacts like probably how most of us would react. Like she's freaking out. Like this is not like she can't keep it together. And so we all know that those types of characters usually end up dying because they're, survival of the fittest.
the fuck was that?
Stella. It was survival of the fittest. So obviously she just can't hack it, right?
Yeah.
And Eliza Dushku isn't doing too well at keeping it together at any point or time, but she has no choice. So she's just going through the motions. Jeremy Sisto, actually, he's probably the only one that actually had any sense. And I always remember my mom when he comes through the woods and then he gets shot. My mom was like, "Oh my God, oh no!" My mom was so upset over his death. Like
Well,
she felt
he was like the 90s hippie.
Yeah, like she was just not having his death. And and I mean, poor mother, why was they making my mom watch this goddamn movie with me? Anyways, so like, and it's funny because my brother, maybe my brother came with us because my brother loves all of them. He's seen all of them. When a new one comes out, he calls me, he tells me or whatever. And I'm like, great, I don't care. Because I legitimately never watched one except for the reboot. And I probably should watch part 2. But
I'm
it's
more
always
interested
like,
in that now.
yeah, I'll probably watch it now that you've said something, Mikey, because I've heard other people talk about it, but I don't like their taste in films. So why the hell am I gonna watch something that they would
We'll
enjoy?
do it for a Patreon episode this month.
Yeah, if you guys want to patreon.com/slasherspod and join a tier and let us know what you want to hear. So anyway, but yeah, so the reception wasn't that great, but honestly, I think it's become a cult favorite. If it was that horrible, it wouldn't have spawned 6 sequels. So
yeah, plus a
and
reboot.
a fucking reboot. So it's not like it did horribly. So people need to, quit fanning, as Doug would say, fanning their nuts to what they think they should see, because this was the time. If you look at the time, this was very quintessentially early 2000s, especially when you came to, girls and guys lost in a thing. Like when we had the reboot with Jessica, I almost said Jessica Alba, Jessica, Justin
Jessica
Timberlake's wife.
Timberlake.
Beal.
Yes,
Jessica
Jessica
Biel?
Biel. Okay.
Yeah.
Who, by the way, has a great ass. Okay.
She does. And
She
boobs.
does. Oh my God, she's so fucking hot in that movie. I would go that way just for her.
That's Justin
And-
Timberlake, right? Isn't he married to her?
Yes, that's
That's
what
why I
we
said
said.
Jessica Timberlake.
Jessica. That's right. I
Yeah.
guess it is that now.
Okay. Well, anyway, it doesn't matter. So, but that was like that film, that reboot. I don't know why we've never done it because that is such a good fucking movie. And if you want to talk about like character development, really caring about characters and being upset when they go, that reboot is amazing. Does this one have that? No. I was sad to see Jeremy Sisto go. Was I sad to see anybody else go? I don't care. Like, whatever. They could have taken Eliza Dushku too. I don't give
I was
a
gonna
fuck.
say honestly, I don't even know if I would have cared if she left, except for I do think the crossbow at the end was pretty badass. But they didn't usually when you have a character like her, you have to build up from, she's broken because she was just left and she feels abandoned, and then she can kind of like grow into her own. But she was just a bitch from the beginning.
Yeah. And they kind of pigeonholed that story in about her boyfriend at some point.
Like
So
2 seconds, it's like she just randomly throws it in there while they're in the car. He's like,
Yeah.
oh, okay.
I don't know. Yeah, they're like hiding under a waterfall. By the way, how romantic is that? I get to sleep with this hot ass guy under a waterfall. Yay.
What's
But
up for the
whatever.
Mongoloids? Who cares?
Well,
Well, no, they
our
went
list for
away.
this month is real loose, just like the opposite of me. So maybe we'll do the remake of Texas Chainsaw Massacre next episode.
Mm. Well, they are
Because I really
cannibals.
want to see it now.
Have you not seen it?
No, I've seen it, but I want to watch it again. Been a
Well, it's
while.
actually they just put it on HBO Max right now. So every time I go past it, I look
have
at
the
it.
DVD.
I too have the DVD, and I literally used to watch that as a kid so much. And
I didn't even know that Matt Bomber was in it.
oh yeah, no, Matt Bomber's in Texas Chainsaw Massacre at the beginning. He's with the Jordana Brewster
Oh,
with my
that one
my
was
doppelganger.
that one was oh, never mind then. No wonder I didn't recognize him. The Jordana Brewster one was okay, but I really liked when she gets it at the end. So
Oh yeah, no, there are elements to that one that's actually very good, but it is so mean-spirited and relentless and it never lets
No.
up. And I think that
Sounds
was
like
to
Lance
its
in bed.
detriment.
Yeah.
To
Huh.
my detriment, to my hole's detriment.
So yeah, maybe
speaking
we
of-
should do that. Okay. Anyway, so speaking of anything, anyways, I think we're coming up to the end of the episode because now we're just getting frisky and it's time for whiskey. So
Ooh.
Mikey, where can you get anything from coffee cans to dental dams?
You can get anything from coffee cams to dental dams with the Slashers Podcast logo on slasherspod.redbubble.com.
Oh, and by the way, Lance has graciously said that he would post our stickers all over when he goes on tour.
Oh yeah.
So
Oh, yeah.
I will be ordering stickers for the band that need not be mentioned, and you will just stick our stickers.
Yeah, put them on
all
the
over
guitar
the-
cases, please.
Yes, I'm gonna give you my face, and my face will be right front and center, and then Mikey can be below me, and that's fine. Our Patreon. So remember, our patreon.com/slasherspod if you want to support us monetarily. All of our Patreon members, we love you so much. If you have anybody who is also interested in the same shit and you guys would like to join, if you get anybody to sign up, we will send you something from Redbubble. So please make sure you still do that. And then let us know what else you want to hear for the rest of the month, because honestly, we have a really good list, but we just haven't really honed in on said list. So
Yeah.
feel free to tell us what you want. But you can follow me at Pathologically ADE. You can follow Mikey at Horror and Half Shell. You can follow Slashers Pod at Slashers Pod on Instagram, or the Mutant Goons from Beyond on both Instagram and Facebook. And I guess you can follow Lance at Zombie versus Hate, so you can see his beautiful European trip.
It was
Yeah, because
beautiful.
he had to send 2 Happy Halloween videos just to show off that he was in Malta and Pompeii.
Still in Malta. I was about to comment. Where are you again? We didn't hear it.
I was in Malta. Boo.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, then he had to, of course, he had to wear the shirt because Lance is still on vacay mode. So good for you. But yeah, so that's it. I think did we cover everything? I think we covered everything. I think we're good. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Well,
yeah, patreon.com/slasherspod. I don't know if you actually said the website.
Yeah,
But-
patreon.com/slasherspod. We have tiers from $1 to $10. Just get in there and have fun.
Yeah, that's what never mind. Okay. Well, with that, I will be hosting next episode so we can have some sort of decorum here.
what?
Dare you? Okay, I know. I'm sorry. I had a day, but I always do, as Mikey says.
No, it's okay. I just
so
like to ping pong our insults. That's what she told me last time when I did whatever episode that was.
that's true. Yes. You know what? This is why. Oh my God. Anyways, with that, my gentlemen, my lovely boo-boos, goodbye and good die.
So, yeah.
Bye. And bye to the ladies out there as well. I'm not gonna, we keep you out of our sayonaras.
See you, ladies. Bye-bye.
All the single ladies, the promiscuous girls.
All the promiscuous.
Yeah, wrong turn.
Promiscuous girls.
Featuring Eliza Dushku and Nelly Furtado.
That's not Eliza
Actually,
Dushku,
she
it's
wrote-
Lisa Dushku or whatever her last name.
Lisa Kudrow. Oh,
Kudrow.
Eliza. What is it? Alugaru. Actually, Alugaru
Alugaru.
Dushku.
Cool story, bro. No, stop.